Hi, I'm Darlene and this is Heartfelt Crochets. And today's tutorial is going to be on this sun drop granny square. This is kind of a lacy square. If you was to crochet this in a cotton yarn, it would make a really pretty doily. You could use a smaller hook and it wouldn't be quite so holey. And I mentioned that I was going to do this tutorial today. It was on 17 granny squares that I have given tutorials on this channel. I may have missed one or two, but I showed 17. So if you would like to see all the granny squares that I have done tutorials on, go ahead and check out this video. I'll also leave a link in the description box below for that video. But for today's video, let's go ahead and let me teach you how to crochet this sun drop granny square. Very pretty. What we are going to be using today to crochet this granny square is a 3.5 millimeter hook, a pair of scissors for cutting our ends, and a yarn needle for weaving in our ends. All right, so we have 4 colors that we are using. The first color for the center, I am using Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and this is in the color Carrot. And then for the center sun drop, I am using Premier Basics, and this is in the color Goldenrod. And then for the green leaves, we'll call them, I am using Premier Basics, and this one is in the color Sage. And then last but not least, for this beautiful lacy, if you will, border, I am using Premier Basics in the color Aran. All right, so like I said, we're going to get started with the center color, which is the Carrot, or you could use brown or use any color that you wish to make this beautiful sun drop granny square, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a sun drop. If you just like the looks of this doily granny square and you want to use it as a decor in your home, go ahead and use it in the colors, theme colors of your home. All right, so let's put this aside, and we're going to start with a magic ring. And we're going to put that tail through and pull this closed just a little bit. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet 8 single crochets in this magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to pull that ring closed, and then we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch. Chain 1, and let's cut our yarn. Pull that through. Give it a little pull. Pull that tail to close that ring nice and tight. Now when we're making granny squares with magic rings, we have to make sure that this center hole isn't going to come undone on us later on. So it's really, really important that we weave in this end in a couple different directions. So we're going to go in the same direction that we were crocheting our single crochets and bring it through a little. Then we're going to come back in the opposite direction, skip over this very first stitch here because you don't want to just go back in the same direction as what this strand of yarn is coming through. So just go skip over one and go back through the opposite direction. And maybe go just a couple more. And then do that one more time and come back this way. And this is going to make this nice and secure. So if it does come apart a little bit, because I'm not guaranteeing that it's not going to loosen up down the road, but the likelihood of that happening is going to be slim. Okay. And then we're going to snip off that end. And then we're just going to go ahead and weave in this tail a little bit. Just randomly just weave that through the back side of your circle. And give that a snip. Okay, so there's our little center. Now we are switching to our second color, and we should have 8 stitches from 8 single crochets in this initial little circle. So we're going to insert our hook into any one of these stitches, and then we're going to draw our yarn through. We're going to hold this tail to the back of this circle, and we are going to chain 3. This counts as a half double crochet. We are going to crochet 2 partial half double crochets in the same stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. That gives us 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all those loops. Now we just created a 3 half double crochet cluster. Remember, this counts as our first half double crochet. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to crochet a 3 half double crochet cluster in the next stitch. Now this is going to be a little different than this one here, because this one only actually had 2 half double crochets where the chain 3 counted as 1. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, and we're going to keep this yarn tail held close to the back because we're crocheting right over it, so we don't have to weave in our end later. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up a loop, pull it up fairly tall, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've just crocheted 3 partial half double crochets. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. There should be 7 loops. Then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Going to do the same thing again. In the next stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, tall. We don't want it short, we want it tall. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and do that one more time in the same stitch. 3 incomplete half double crochets, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops on your hook, and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to repeat that in the remaining stitches, and you should have 8 of these half double crochet clusters when you are finished, and I will meet you back here. All right, so I'm at the last stitch and I am crocheting my 8th half double crochet cluster, pulling through all the loops, chaining 5, 3, 4, and 5. And then we are going to slip stitch right to the top stitch of that first cluster. Now this next row is going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can, and I'll go slow. So you want to pay close attention because it's kind of weird. We are going to chain 2. 1, 2. In this chain 5 space right here, we are going to single crochet. And then we're going to chain 2 again. Now in this next chain 5 space, we're going to double crochet. And now you're thinking, oh, if that's all we're going to do around, that's not hard. Well, no, hold on now. Now we're going to chain 3. We are going to go backwards into this previous chain 5 space and double crochet. Pull it up tall because we don't want that to be short and bunched up. And we just created an X in this area. Now we're going to chain 2 again. And in this same chain 5 space as we did this first double crochet, we're going to place a single crochet. And then we're going to chain 2 again. And in this next chain 5 space, we're going to double crochet. Now we're going to repeat, and we're going to chain 3. And we're going to go backwards and double crochet into this previous chain 5 space. Pull up tall. And then we're going to chain 2 and double crochet in this same chain 5 space. And chain 2 again. Double crochet in the next chain 5 space. Chain 3 and double crochet in the previous chain 5 space. Chain 2 again and single crochet in this same chain 5 space, and then chain 2 again, and we're going to just keep repeating that in each one of these loops. I'm going to meet you back here, but if you should forget and get a little confused on what you're supposed to do, just rewind the video a little bit and watch me again, and continue around. And then we'll do this last one, this is next to the last one really, in this last chain 5 space. So I'll meet you there. Okay, we're at the last chain 5 space, so we are going to double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3. And we're going to double crochet in this previous chain 5 space. And then we're going to chain 2, and it's going to look like we should be done, but we're not. So we're going to single crochet in this same space, just like we've been doing before. And then we're going to chain 2. And now in this initial chain 2 space, we're going to place a double crochet. And then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to double crochet in the previous chain 5 space, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch to this very first single crochet. So now we should have 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are going to chain 1 and cut our yarn. Pull that through and weave in our end. And we're just going to randomly weave it under a few stitches just to give it a little bit of extra security of not coming undone. And snip that. All right, so now we are switching to color number 3. All right, so color number 3 for me is this green. Oh, I have this twisted up. I'll untwist this and I'll be right back. All right, so now we are going to insert our hook into this chain 3 space, not the chain 2 spaces, the chain 3 space right above the crisscross. And then we're going to draw our yarn through. And we are going to slip stitch, and which also counts as our first chain 1. And then we are going to single crochet in this same space. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now skip these 2 chain 2 spaces and jump right over to this chain 3 space across this next, above this next X or crisscross. Oops, I got something on the yarn there. And we are going to crochet a 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 3 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, but don't complete that double crochet. We're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2 incomplete double crochets. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That is a 2 double crochet cluster. Now we're going to chain 2. And now this is going to be a little different. We are going to do the same thing only with treble crochets. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, but don't complete that treble. Going to do that one more time. Yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, and we just created a 2 treble crochet cluster. Now we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to do one more 2 double crochet clusters in this same space. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Got a little knot there where the factory knotted it, I guess. I wish I would have saw that before, but that's okay. All right, so now we're gonna yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skipping these 2 chain 2 spaces and going over into this next chain 3 space and single crochet. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now double crochet a 2 double crochet cluster. Just like we did before, an incomplete double crochet, 2 of them, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops and chain 2, and then now a 2 treble crochet cluster. So 2 incomplete treble crochets, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 2, and then one more 2 double crochet cluster in the same space, pull through all 3 loops and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip these 2 chain 2 spaces and single crochet in the chain 3 space and chain 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you're going to repeat that around, and you can see it's starting to square off this round sun drop in the center. So continue that. Now you're going to be doing clusters again in this chain 3 space, and then a single crochet, and then clusters, and I'll meet you when you are finished these clusters in this chain 3 space. Alright, so I just finished my last 3 clusters in this corner space, and I chained 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitching to the top of this first single crochet, and then chain 1, and we are going to cut our yarn and pull through. Now here where we have our ends together, we can just go ahead and create a little slip knot, and that will help give a little extra security before we weave in our ends. I am going to cut these so that they are even. And where they're shorter, I'm just going to go ahead and put my needle through first, just these couple little stitches right here. And then I'm going to thread the yarn needle. And we don't have much to pull through. We don't have to worry about that because we just made a little knot. And we're going to pull that through. So our little knot is hidden underneath these 2 stitches. And then snip those ends. Alright, so now we are switching to our last color. For me, it is the cream. So now we are going to insert our hook into this single crochet stitch here, and we are going to draw our fourth color yarn through and chain 1. Then we are going to place 2 single crochets in this same space. So that's 1 and 2. Now we are going to single crochet 5 times in this chain 5 space, and we're going to go ahead again and we're going to single crochet right over this yarn tail. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now right at the top of this cluster we're going to place a single crochet, and now in this chain 2 space crochet 2 single crochets, and then now in the top of this treble crochet cluster in the same stitch we are going to crochet 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we are going to crochet 2 single crochets in this next chain 2 space. So that's 1 and 2. 1 single crochet in this next stitch right up above this 2 double crochet cluster. And now 5 single crochets in this next chain 5 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet in this single crochet stitch, and then 5 single crochets in the chain 5 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet in this next stitch, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, 3 single crochet in this next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 5 single crochet in the next chain 5 space. Single crochet in this next stitch, and then 5 single crochet in this chain 5 space. And we are just going to repeat that for the next 2 corners and this side, and I'll meet you back here when you're finished your single crochet in the top of this last cluster. Alright, so we're at this last chain 5 space, so we're going to single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to slip stitch to this first. Remember, there's 2 single crochets here, so slip stitch to the first single crochet, and for this next row we are going to chain 1, and we are going to single crochet in this same stitch, and then single crochet in the next, and just continue single crocheting in each stitch across. Okay, just a couple more. Okay, so now we have reached our 3 single crochets that's above this center cluster. So in this first of the 3, we are going to place 1 single crochet. And then in the second of the 3, we're going to place 3 single crochets. And then in the third single crochet of that corner, just 1 single crochet. And then single crochet in each stitch across this entire row. And I'm just going to go ahead and zoom on over to the next corner. And again, we are at the corner with those 3 double crochets above that center cluster. So 1 single crochet in the first one, and then 3 single crochets in that center stitch, and then 1 in the next one, and then 1 single crochet across again, and just keep repeating that all the way around, and I'll meet you back here when you are finished. And I'm at my last 2 stitches. Okay, so now we are going to slip stitch to the top of the single crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and this is our last row, and this is where we are making this really pretty lace border. So we are going to single crochet in this same space, and then we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and we're going to single crochet in the next stitch and chain 4 and skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the next stitch and chain 4. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet into the next stitch and chain 4. Again, skip 2 stitches, single crochet into the next stitch and chain 4. And you're just going to repeat that around. Now I did want to give you a little bit of a heads up that this first single crochet in this stitch here lined up perfectly with the center of the 3 single crochets. That's not going to happen all the way around. So if you get over here and it ends up in the second single crochet of that corner, don't freak out and go, why did it end up being that way? Because it's not going to, it's just not going to line up that way. So just continue with skipping 2 stitches, single crochet in the next one, chain 4, skip 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 4, and repeat that all the way around, and I will meet you back here when you are finished this border round. Alright, so I just chained my last 4 chains, and now I am skipping the 2 and slip stitching into the top of that first single crochet, and then we're going to chain 1. And I had already previously cut my yarn because at this last part it didn't record, so I am re-recording. So you're going to cut your yarn and then you're going to pull that through, and then you're just going to weave in this end. Sun drop granny square. Comment below. Let me know how yours came out, what colors you made yours in, and if you enjoyed this tutorial. If there are other granny squares that you would like me to film and post a tutorial on, then please throw that in the comments below as well. And until next time, bye!